share a little bit, if I can, about Eagle Manager and Chairman's Bonus. Two very, very clever incentives. Very clever incentives there to help you maximise your profit centres, to be able to experience all that Forever offers. The travel is second to none. Really, these programs are designed to take you to another level. So let's have a little look, shall we, first of all, at the Eagle Manager Retreat. And let's have a look at what we have to do to qualify for Eagle, and how Eagle very neatly ties in to achieving Chairman's Bonus, because it's not one or the other. One flows into the other. And it's about having the vision and the strategy to put it in place right now, knowing that you're going to achieve or be structured for it by qualification start period date. So Eagle Manager, we've had some incredible Eagle Manager events over the years. You go to an Eagle Manager event and you come back a very different person. How many people in this room have been to an event, to an Eagle event with Forever? Stand up if you've been to an Eagle event. Look at this room. Amazing. Well, we're going back to, it says here I'm 19, but the reality is we are going back to Thailand. And what a place to be able to go and to be able to show your teams what is possible. So let's just run through the basics of becoming an Eagle. I'm sure many of you know the rules, but it's really good to have them endorsed. And for maybe some of the newer managers in the room, hearing it again and again and again gives you clarification on what needs to be done. It goes without saying that you need to be 4Ks credit active every single month. Do you know what's interesting? I've been in Forever now for 30 years, and I've never done 4Ks credits. I've just never done 4Ks credits. Because 4Ks credits is the minimum, and I never worked to minimums. I just never worked to minimums. And I know that you have a 5cc club here in South Africa, and my advice is be in it. Be in it and be the example that it's not 4cc's or 4.01 cc's. I'm going to say something that's a bit controversial now, but I say it to our team in the UK, so I'll say it here. If you're doing 4.01 on the last day of the month, shame on you. If you're doing 12.5 on the last day of the month, shame on you. We are a group of leaders and we need to lead by example. We don't work to minimums. So you need to be 4cc active, you need to be leadership qualified, and during the qualification period you need to do 720 cases, of which 100 must be new. And the beauty about that 100, it can be done anywhere in the world. So wherever you're building your businesses now, here in Southern Africa, taking advantage of momentum, but also recognising that the African community travel and relocate. Where are you reaching out to start to begin to build your multiple income streams? You know, you could find one good person in the UK or the US or wherever, and that person could contribute towards your 100 cc's of new business. And you must personally sponsor and develop 2 new supervisors, again they can be global, in the qualification period, and support all local, regional and relevant meetings. So in other words, you're participating. Let's have a little look. Oh, I can't see those, that's a funny colour on here. Let's have a little look. Can you see those slides? No, they're really pale, aren't they? Can't see anything. Okay, can we maybe darken that slide a bit, or? Yeah, can we do something with it? Because I can't see anything on the slide. Not a thing. Blank. Okay. Well, is it better on this one up here? No, can't see it. Can't see anything. Not a thing. Ah, there we go. So, if you want to be, if you're a senior manager, you need to be doing your qualification and helping one other person in your team to become Eagle. Now, they don't have to be frontline to you, they can be anywhere in your team. If you're a soaring Eagle, then you've helped 3 downline Eagles, and they can be anywhere in your team. They can be anywhere in the world, they don't have to be in your home country. Sapphire, 6 downline, Diamond Sapphire, 10 downline Eagles, and Diamond, 15 downline Eagle managers, anywhere in the world. And all of this can be tracked and monitored on your 360. As your business grows and grows and grows and grows, you're going to suddenly have Eagles popping up in countries, in businesses, in teams that you didn't even know existed. Seriously. It's really interesting how the business begins to take off and have a life of its own. But each Eagle has to be in a different sponsorship line. Okay? So, we need to break it down because I'm sure you're like me. If you have a target to work towards, you need to break it down into the end goal. So what's the qualification period? You then need to work it backwards and look at how much you need to do every single week, every single month, every single week, every single day. Because you don't just wake up and say, I'm going to be an Eagle. You need to plan it. So if we look at the 720 over 12 months, it's 60 case credits per month. And that's a good, solid platform to build on. But remember, we don't work to minimums. You know, it's about building to 60 and then escalating through to the 100 club. 100 case credits of non-manager business is really important because what that gives you is a seedbed for your future manager development. In order to become an Eagle, strongly recommend you recruiting between 2 to 4 to 5 people per month. More, but not less. More but not less. This gives you enough people to work with, to sort and sift, to find out who are the serious players and who not only are going to contribute to your volume, but you're going to get them in place so they can become Eagles as well in their own right. So if you're recruiting 2 to 4 to 5 per month and you're retailing 4 to 6 per month, you should be looking at doing anywhere between 6 to 10 case credits of personal business per month through your new activities. So aim high. Don't just have Eagle on your mind. Because as I said, Eagle flows through to becoming chairman's bonus. And the amount of times I work with people and they say, oh, I've done my Eagle. And I say, well, you may have done your Eagle, but we're following straight the way through to go on to be chairman's bonus. And case credits means money. Case credits mean money. You do not leave case credits sitting on the table. You do not leave case credits outside in the team. You work with the team and get as many case credits as possible because they're going to be very important to you moving forward. Get onto the Forever to Drive really, really quickly. And I want to share a little thought with you. And I want you all just to write this down. When we first started in Forever, we got to manager in 14 weeks, and we literally didn't understand anything. As I said, we were ignorance on fire, very, very excited. And in our 3rd month in Forever, we did 52.5 case credits, write that down. In our 4th month, we did 98.9, and in our 5th month, 155. It's wow, but what can you see there? What happened?
Forever to drive. Forever to drive.
What happened? We missed our car plan by 1 case credit. Because we didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't take responsibility to learn. We were so new in the business, we didn't understand the concept of when a business is in momentum, capitalizing on the growth and managing the case credits. We just didn't know. And that cost us. It cost us not doing the car plan in our 5th month of being in Forever. which would have been pretty quick to do it from a standing start. Within the next couple of months, we broke 2 managers, which meant that actually it was 8 months before we did the car plan, because when we developed 2 managers, the volume dropped again. And that's why you need to have your 100 case credits per month of non-manager business. It's so important. And you can do it in incremental jumps. Focus on 25, then work to 50, then work to 75, then work to 100. If you've got 5 key legs in place, and you're working with those key legs, they'll be coming through doing their base month of 10 to 15, and then a qualifying month, whichever their base month was, of 10 to 15. If you've got 5 people doing that, and you're working with them, you're knocking on the door of 80 to 100 case credits, non-manager. And as managers, that is a very high profit margin. When you've got a really high non-manager business, as you're developing your other managers, it's very, very lucrative. So don't just develop managers and have 12, 15 non-CCs, non-manager CCs. It won't serve you well. Does that make sense? So let's have a look at maybe a plan to getting you through to Eagle this year. Now, some of you will already be well on the way to qualifying at the end of April. But for some of you, you're going to need to be looking at a program that will help you get through to start building for Eagle right now. You may not be ready to qualify because you kind of not done enough volume in the previous months, but you can certainly look at qualifying and getting everything ready for momentum now. And this gives you a really good example of how to structure your business. And I want you to look at the incremental growth here. Now, I'm talking more to the brand new managers, or maybe the managers that are just finding their feet. If you're an existing high CC manager, or maybe you're a senior, soaring or sapphire, this plan is relevant for the people in your team that are coming up behind you and wanting to be Eagles. Because sometimes managers look at the volume and the first thing they say is, maybe not out loud, but in their mind, I can't do that. Because what they're doing is they're looking at their starting point right now. And their starting point could be, I'm only doing 20 cases. I'm not really, how can I become an Eagle if I'm only doing 20 when I should be on 60? And what they look at is the 60, but they don't look at the journey that goes to 60 and beyond. So if you look at this and you say, right, in January I'm going to do 20, February I'm going to do 30, we're right in February right now. So none of you after this few days have got any excuse to not go out and have 30 cases in your non-manager business. None of you. None of you. And you know what I would suggest to all of those managers that have 30 cases? I would say, go create new business. Go create 30 new cases. Build this on new business. Because I'm telling you, the impact is phenomenal on your income. And then you go from 30 to 50, it's only plus 20. So don't look at the 50, look at the plus 20. And say, where is that 20 going to come from? What do I have to do? Well, if you sponsored 4 people and helped them do 5 case credits, there's 20. Or you could look into your team and take 2 new people and help them do 10 each, there's 20. Or you could take 3 people and help them do 7 each, there's 21. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's relevant to the people in your team and identifying their capacity, their drive, their energy and passion. You can grow this business really, really quickly. So then we get into April and we're doing 70. And 70 cases, 50 to 70 is only 20. Now that can come from the growth of finding your first 5 key people. And if those 5 people all just did an extra 5 each, there's more than 20 for the growth in the month of April. So get curious about the numbers. Get curious about where the growth is going to come from. It'll be a balance of brand new recruits in that month and the people that you've brought in the previous months and are working with. the ones that really want it. If we get through to May, you've done 90 cases and you'll break your first supervisor here. And then in June, you will break your second supervisor. So really important that you understand when you're going to develop your supervisors. And then if we look at January, February, March, April, May, June, July, you're going to be on 130 and in 100 club. You know, 100 club level 1, certainly in our country, you've got to do it for 3 months to be in the club. Is it the same here? Yeah, so you've done 100 for 3 months, you're in the club. And then in August we tend to find can be a maintenance month because it's a big holiday season for us in August. So we look at that, maintaining 100 club, everybody's away on holiday, but we're going to maintain. Very important you recognise this. I don't know what your month is for holidaying, but certainly for us it's in August. So maintain the business. And then come back really, really strong after the summer. Because what we're looking to do now is qualify for Forever to Drive. We're looking again at that incremental growth, qualifying for Forever to Drive, but more importantly, you've just developed your first manager. Now, why is it important to develop your first manager ASAP? Before the end of the year. Because we want you structured going into next year for Chairman's Bonus. Now, some of you may already be structured. Some of you may already have a potential 600 leg that you've been working with that you can develop through and achieve Chairman's by the end of the year. Some of you may not yet have that manager in place. So you've got to think right now, when do I need to develop that manager so I capitalise on the non-manager CCs to do car plan, develop the manager, finish the year strong by developing another manager. You now are going to 2026 ready for Chairman's Bonus. So it's really important that you understand that these two incentives link hand in hand. Really important. Now you could be sitting in the room thinking I can do a lot more than that. Well, that's fine, do more, but never do less. Never do less. And teach the programme to your team where they fully believe they can achieve it. Fully believe that they can achieve the Eagle Manager programme. I think any incentive, any programme that we engage with only happens when you decide to decide. You know, until you mentally decide you're going to achieve it and own it, it lodges in your heart, nothing happens. It is having that steely determination that failure is not an option. And it's interesting, certainly what I've learned in my time in Forever, I've learned that once you make a decision, once you commit to it and own it, it's really funny how the universe rearranges itself and brings the right people and the right situations into your life that allow you to achieve your goal. Just when you think, how am I ever going to do this? Because you've stated it, you own it. It's amazing the people that come into your sphere of influence. It's amazing. And I've recognised that a lot over the last few years. You know, last year was a difficult year for me. I'm not going to say it wasn't. You know, when you lose your soulmate and your husband and the person that's been right by your side we were together 35 years, it's hard. It's difficult. But I tell you something now, I never, ever failed to do what I needed to do to make sure I ended my Eagle and my Chairman's Bonus. Never. And as Rebecca said, some days you don't want to show up. Some days you want to just stay in bed and pull the quilt cover over your head and say, no, I'm not doing it. But we have to show up. We may not show up quite as often in a year of grief, but we show up and we put our game face on and we lead. So there's no excuses in this room for any of you to say, I can't achieve, because you can. All of us can rise up and overcome adversity. All of us. So the magic happens when you decide and commit to always being an achiever on the incentive program. And that boils down to your attitude. I can, I will, I must, and failure simply is not an option. And as I said before, sometimes if we go off track a bit, we have to re-navigate and get back on track. And I hope I'm not stepping out of line here by recognising your leaders in Nobili and Percy, because I've watched their journey and I know they've been off track a couple of times, but oh my goodness, when they come back with a bang. Unbelievable. What examples to everybody. And that's what true leaders do. They navigate. They look at this, they set their sail and they navigate around challenges. So there's no excuses. Eagle Manager is there for every one of you. You need to be the example to your team. And the first Eagle Manager trip you go on, it could just be you. But when you go on your first Eagle Manager trip and you come back, you say, I will never go alone again, ever. Ever. I am always going to take Eagles with me. I remember going on my very first rally with Forever to San Francisco. I qualified for the, what was it called then? What was the rally called then? It was the Super Bowl, Super Rally in America. Used to be in America every year. You needed to do 1,500 cases in the year. John and I qualified. We only started literally in August, but we qualified to go to the rally, total CCs, by the end of the year. We went to San Francisco, just us, nobody else. Nobody. And we came away from that event and said we will never go to an event alone again. And that will be you with the Eagle event. That will be you with the Eagle. You will never, ever go alone again. You will go and experience it, and you will come back and say, who's coming with me next time? And you work hard together, because attitude is everything. So you need to have the plan in place. And literally every single Sunday night, this is what we do, is we review our plan. Every Sunday. So we review our plan of the previous week and say, did we achieve everything we set out to do? Where did we fall short? Was it something in our control or not? And how are we going to pick that up in the next week? So Sunday night is planning and reviewing. From Sunday to Sunday, it's execution. So you plan, you do, and you review. And you hold yourself accountable to the plan to getting to Eagle. And you do as much in the first half of the qualification period as you can to allow for any challenges that might arise towards the end of the qualification period. So don't just say, well, I've done my 60 this month, I'm good. No. Can I do more? Can I build in a safety net, a buffer, protect myself? So you need to plan, execute, review, hold yourself accountable, look at your non-negotiables, look at where your strengths are, work to your strengths, but recognise where you need to put time and effort in to develop personally. Could I be a better recruiter? Or I'm a brilliant recruiter, but how good am I at duplication? How good am I at promoting supervisors? Look at where you need to work on so you become a master of the process. So take control of your business. You've heard it from all the speakers. We have to take responsibility. I love it. I loved it when you say, you don't get any case credits from your upline. I have no right to be there with them. I have to work with my downline. I love that. Because it's absolutely true. Your upline is there to maybe guide you, to keep you on track, to make sure that everything's going well. But you need to be hanging out with your downlines, hanging out with the people that are going to bring the case credits, working, planning. And one of the things I always say to people, and I get this occasionally, yeah, but I'm working with them and they're so deep in my business, they're out of my pay line. And I'm like, You don't just work in your pay line, my friend. Do you understand what I mean when I say that? So you get paid on 3 levels. And the mentality of some people is, I'm only going to work those 3 levels. No. Because Forever pays you for width and depth. And depth is not in your 3 levels, it can be on your 20th level. One of my chairman's bonus legs this year from Nigeria is on my 15th level. Should I not be working with her during the year? Should I not be holding her accountable? Should I not be reviewing her business plan? Think about where you need to work for the long game, not just for being paid today, because it will reward you. Make sure that you have mastered the habits that you need in order to be successful. Do not be held back by bad habits. Please do not allow the bad habits to hold you back. Do not let your bad habits define you. Work on excellence. Work on being the best version of you. And in doing so, you take control of your life. You do not leave your destiny in the hands of somebody else. You develop your leadership skills every single day. And sometimes you develop your skills by doing. Sometimes you develop your skills by learning. And sometimes you develop your skills by accident. But you should be developing every single day. I'm proud to be a Diamond Sapphire Eagle. And I'm proud to have a lot of eagles in my team. I don't even know them all now. I mean, literally, people come to me and say, hey Jayne, I'm an eagle in your team. I don't even know who they are anymore because there's so many of them. But when somebody comes to me and says, I'm an eagle in your team or I'm a CB in your team and I don't know them, I put my arm around their shoulder and say, come, let's go and have a coffee. Let's go talk. How can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do for you? This is not about me. I will get there if I help enough other people get what they want. So, I think when you go to an Eagle Manager event, you come back a different person. Forever truly know how to spoil you. But please rest assured, the Eagle Manager trip is not a holiday. And I hear it a lot. Oh, we're qualifying for our holidays. No, you're not. You're not qualifying for a holiday. You're going on a trip to a beautiful location, fully paid for by Forever. This is Forever investing in you. This is Forever investing in your future. You are going to be at an event, and if you go to the event thinking, I'm going to lie on the beach, lie by the pool, I'm not going to show up, shame on you. Because you are going to be in the hall with some of the top leaders from around the world. You're going to be able to talk with them, access them, ask questions of them. You're going to be able to fill your bucket so when you come home, you are a different person. This is Forever investing in you. Do not take that lightly. So Eagle is a phenomenal stepping stone to everything else that we have on the marketing model. So if you build a strong Eagle Manager business, you are naturally going to progress to Chairman's Bonus. And Chairman's Bonus, I think, is one of the most clever programs in the history of network marketing.
True.
It's one of the most clever programs in the history of network marketing. Now, sometimes if we're brand new in the business, we can look at it and all we see is money. We don't actually understand the structure and how we get rewarded for the kind of business that we build. So Chairman's Bonus is made possible because we are a privately owned company. Because Forever is owned by one family, it quite simply means that they have the money to be able to share a portion of the company's turnover with all of the qualifying FBOs from around the world. If we were a limited company, if we were a company that floated on the stock exchange, you would not be getting this, it would be going to the investors and the stockholders. So applaud the fact that you are in a privately owned company. What a clever man Rex Morn was. What a clever man to put in place incentives like this. And I can tell you, some of the checks that you see people pick up from around the world are life-changing. And I'm not just talking about the big checks. I'm talking about the first-time check. I remember my first ever chairman's bonus check when we first qualified in the UK as a qualifying country. And my first check was $12,500. To this day, it was significant, not just because of the money, but because of what the impact it had on the business, the impact it had on my vision, and the potential for growth. So I sometimes hear people say, I'm not going to go for chairman's bonus level 1. It's only going to be $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. It's not worth the effort. I know nobody in Southern Africa says that. Never. Never ever say that I'm not going to go for chairman's bonus because it's not going to be big enough because this year I'm only going to be level 1. You own that check and you bring it back home with pride. Because your first check is a milestone. It's a milestone. Your first check is the example to your team, to your country. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's what you have to believe and buy into. I know all of these people on this screen. I know what their checks meant to them, and it's incredible. So let's have a look at how we build a chairman's bonus business. We have to be 700 case credits of non-manager business in the year. And chairman's bonus starts on the 1st of January, whereas your eagle starts on 1st of May. Now can you see how your incentive is not a 1-year program, but a 16-month program? Do you see where I'm coming from? Because they interlink together. And if you see them as an interlinking incentive program, then you will naturally progress from one to the other within that 16 months. And that is exciting. Of the 700 case credits, there must be 150 new non-manager CCs in the qualifying period, that 1 year. And again, your volume can be global. Now, when we first started, that was the rule. But Forever, being the generous company they are, have put in another little rider to the program, and that is, you can count your new volume for 12 months rolling. Do you understand that? Maybe some of the brand new managers didn't know that. But if you recruit somebody in October of this year, their volume counts for this year, but it will also count till October next year unless they go manager first. Think about that. Think about those rolling case credits. It's just unbelievable the way they enhance the program. So if you're a consistent and relevant and sustainable recruiter building business under your new people, you'll have your qualification for new business done in the first 2 or 3 months of the year. You hear me? You need to be, I can't say that word because none of us are 4cc active. You need to be 4cc active, but we don't work to minimums, we do more, don't we? Never less, always more. You need to be leadership active, and you need to be on the CAR program. You need to be on the CAR program. And you have the CAR program for 3 years. Once you qualify for it, it's yours for 3 years. So if you qualify for it this year, it'll stand you well for 26 and 27. But you should be building a business where you're constantly requalifying. So you're going from level 1 to 2, level 2 to 3, and you're just doing so many case credits, you don't even know that you've got to qualify for the CAR, because it's just done. And you need to have a 600-leg manager in your team. This is a manager who will do 600 case credits in the qualifying year. And that manager does not have to be frontline. but they do have to be in your country. The only time you can count them as outside of your country is if their chairman's bonus qualified outside of your country, then you can count them as your 600 leg. Does that make sense? Now, what that entitles you to is your proportion of the share of level 1 in CB. So what does that mean? What does that mean, Jayne, a proportion of the turnover? Let me show you. And these are examples. They're just examples. So let's say in the pot, however much the pot is, 15, 20, 25 million, they take 50% of the pot and 50% is given divided between everybody in level 1. So they take all of the case credits from around the world, they divide them into the amount of the pot in level 1, and they come up with a value. So let's just say, hypothetically, in level 1 this year, or last year, it was worth $3 per case credit. And let's say you finished your qualification period on 1,000 case credits. 1,000 times 3 gives you a check of $3,000. That's how it's worked out. And that is why you do not say, oh, I've done my 700. You go for case credits, because every case credit you're being paid on in your monthlies, but you're being paid $3 on at the end of the year. Every case credit. Do not leave money on the table. Case credits speak. Do you hear me? So that's a level 1 check. And every single one of you in this room needs your plan in place. Because by the end of this year, every one of you needs to be going to the rally next year ready to pick up a check. Every one of you. And I tell you, if you buy into this, if you internalize it, if you say, that is me, I will not be denied, you will be the biggest group in the world picking up checks. So, chairman's bonus is about progression. It's about progression. And you need to understand this is the starting point. Because in level 1, you can have level 1 plus 2. Level 1 plus 1, level 1 plus 2. What does that mean? Well, if you work with and you help somebody in your team, doesn't have to be frontline, think about the depth. You may not get paid much on them during the year because they're out of your pay line, but they're going to be relevant for your chairman's bonus. So, let's just say that you've got 2 people in your team right now that you know if you go and bring them under your arm, under your tutorship, that they are going to be able to go for chairman's bonus. You sit down and you write the plan out. What happens now in level 1? You get your case credits. You've done 1,000. You've got a girl called Claire. She's done 1,200. And you've got Jack, who's just scraped in, and he's done 700. You now add all of those case credits together, all of them, to give you a total of 2,900 case credits. That now means that you're getting paid $3, not just on what you've done, but what Claire does and what Jack does. Okay? So your $3 is now worth just short of $8,700. Do you now see why it's important to go to work with your team? It's not just about what's on the table in your non-manager or what's in your pay line. It's where can I develop strength and structure? So think about your chairman's bonus. You could say, well, this year, Jayne, I think I'll do level 1. And I say you do level 1, but you make sure by the end of this year you've got 2 managers developed, ready to go into next year to qualify. Progressive business, seeing the end goal before you've even put it in place. And from there, obviously when you get 3 people in your team, then you can progress to level 2. Now level 2 takes a big jump. How many people in this room have already experienced the joy of achieving level 1 chairman's bonus in the past? Stand up if you're a level 1 bonus qualifier. Give these guys a big round of applause. Stand loud and proud. Loud and proud. Okay, you guys need your plan in place to be level 1 plus 1, level 1 plus 2, and then be ready to roll over into this by the end of next year. That's the goal. How do I roll over into a following year? And this is why you need to have the 5 key people. 5 key people. Without the key people, you'll never develop and roll over. So level 2, slightly different rules. Because now you only have to do 600 case credits of non-manager and 100 new. And the reason it's a little lower is because you're going to be working with a lot more people. This is not now just about you, it's about your time and feeding into other people. You've still got to be 4cc, leadership, forever to drive, and you've still got to develop now 3 chairman's bonus legs from around the world. You are now going to get a third of the CB pool. But what's really interesting, you're also getting part of level 1 as well. So you get part of level 1, and then you get part of level 2. So let's just say that in level 2, the case credit value is $5. It's just an example. It could be more, it could be less. It's an example. And let's say that you've helped 3 people do chairman's bonus and keep their volume high and build strong. What happens now? You've done 1,500, Claire's done 1,500, Jack has nearly doubled his business, he's on fire, and Sam has come from nowhere, boom, big case credits in the first year, done chairman's bonus. You've now got over 6,000 case credits at $5, that's $30,000 end of year bonus. Now, what would you do if you had $30,000 going into your bank at the end of the year? Think about it. It's life-changing. My first level 2 check was a deposit on my first house. It was a deposit on my first house, because I didn't have a house when I first started in Forever. So the level 2 was the deposit on the house, and it was a big deposit. But people in level 2 are picking up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 pound checks. Now they've worked hard, they use the product and they use a lot of it. They retail the product and they retail a lot of it. They recruit and they recruit well, quality people. Quality person isn't somebody with a fancy title. It's somebody with an amazing attitude, a great work ethic and a big desire. That's quality. That's a quality person. But these amounts of money, they become life-changing. You know, if I look at Paul and Claire here in the top left, Paul and Claire in my team, I wish I could show the money. Just amazing, amazing the check they picked up. More money than the both of them would have earned if they were in full-time jobs as an end-of-year bonus. Philo from Kenya. This started her property portfolio. Incredible. I mean, these are life-changing amounts that will go towards creating wealth. But you've got to put the work in. But here's the thing, it doesn't stop there, because you could be a level 2 plus 2. So you will over time develop not 3, but 4 or 5 legs. And what will happen is all of their case credits are added to your case credits for the grand total. So here, you're doing just short of 12,000 cases. At $5 a case credit, you're knocking on the door of 58,000. But the magic here is you're getting ready to level up. You're getting ready to level, and that's why you have to see chairman's bonus as a 2 to 5 year game plan. It's fact. You will have the odd person that will come in and boom, do it all in a year or 18 months or 2 years, but that's not the norm. The norm is it is a progressive plan, and it underpins every aspect of the marketing model. And as I say, it's generous beyond words. Let's have a look at what happens when you get into level 3. Level 3 qualification, 500 non-manager, 100 new, can be global, anywhere around the world. I think I've already heard some of your leaders saying they've done that already. It's brilliant, because when you do your qualification early, it gives you even more time to go and work with your legs. 4cc active leadership, active forever to drive, but now you've got to develop 6 legs anywhere around the world. What happens now is you get paid part of level 1, part of level 2, and level 3. I think Nabili has every right to be dancing in her seat. I think she's going to be picking up a huge check this year. So what happens now is you collate all the CCs from your downlines and add them all together. So let's just give you an example here that you've got 17,200 case credits. Let's just say all of your team, they've done 5,000, 2,000, 1,500, 2.5, 2, 3, 1,200. You're now in level 3, and your case credit value here is $12. Yeah, I mean, this is eye-watering stuff, guys. So if you look at your 17,200 at $12 per case credit, you're getting over 200,000 as an end-of-year bonus. Now, I want you to think just for a moment. What would 200,000 on top of your monthly income mean to you and your families? To you and your communities, to you and your teams, to the good that you can do. What does that mean to you? So what I want you to do is I want you to start really thinking about it and internalizing it and getting yourself ready for the next 3 to 5 years. Some of you are already well on track. You're already level 2, which means that it could be this year and next year when you're in level 3. Some of you still got to do your level 1. It's fine, it's your journey. But please understand, you need to put your journey into momentum. It's really, really important that you do that. So, chairman's bonus checks, massive. Just on this one page alone here, just on these 4 people, there was over 2 million given out. Just with these 4 people. Okay, is it the next slide? Is it my next slide that's the video? I can't remember.
I think so.
When? Okay. So can I just say to you, there's no limit to the amount of legs that you can achieve. Now I'm going to have a little dose of reality here, if I may, Ollie. Because I've just painted a fantastic picture of what's possible. But I am going to tell you, there are ups and downs and challenges that sometimes you won't even see coming. This year, I lost 2 chairman's bonus legs. Poached by another company. Devastated. Gone to another company, to a company that will never last, never survive, and will do more damage to our industry than anything else. Now, how should I handle that? Should I go home and cry in the corner and disembowel myself with a blunt spoon? Or do I say, step up? Step up. stepped up. So I stepped up, even though it was a year full of grief, and still ended with 7 legs. Still ended with 7 legs. So no excuses, my friends. This year, I have 10 legs ready to go. 10 legs. And I'm always looking for the new ones coming through. Know your business. Know your business. It's your right, your duty to know your business. So, here's a plan for Chairman's Bonus. This is your plan. Literally starting from January through to December. I can't make it any easier. I can't make it any simpler. But if you do 25 in January, 35 in February, 45 in March, 45 in March, you are a manager. Now this is for your new people who may not yet be managers. You see, you don't look at this plan and say, I can't do it. I've got nobody in my team who can do it because I haven't got a manager. Once they go manager, in March, you go to work with them because your new manager now needs to do 75 case credits a month to be structured for Chairman's Bonus, but to finish as your 600 leg. So what you're doing for them, you're not talking about them being relevant for you for your 600, you're talking about structuring them so they finish the year ready to achieve it next year. Does that make sense? So here's a really simple plan, and for those of you that think, can it be done, I'm here to tell you it can. I have an amazing lady in my team called Philo Gwandai from Kenya. She spends most of her time in the UK. Hi, Kenyans. She started her business in the UK under my tutorage. She was a lawyer by profession and very quickly began to build a business that allowed her to step back from being a lawyer. She went on to be a manager. She's gone on now to be Sapphire, Chairman's Bonus qualified, the whole 9 yards. But I remember her as a young up-and-coming manager, and she had gone from the UK back to Kenya, so neglected her UK business a bit. She has family things to sort out. She came back in June, midway through the year. She's an incredible woman. I met her in London. We sat down and we brainstormed for 2 hours a plan for her because she said, I want to do Chairman's Bonus. And I said, Philo, it's 6 months. She said, plan me. So I planned for her and she went to work. Christmas Day, she did 2 launches. Christmas Day, 2 launches. She launched her way, recruited her way, grew her way to finish on the 31st of December at 5 o'clock. She finished her first Chairman's Bonus qualification. She only started in June. So there's no excuses. Everybody can do this if they put their mind to it. You can look at this and do a lot more, but you don't look at this and do less. Because there is a blueprint for you to achieve Chairman's Bonus. Oh, stop. Pause. Now then, I have asked permission to show you something, but everybody has to turn off their cameras.